Hello, my dear class 9 students. Hope you all are well. Today we will discuss about the chapter 9, that is weathering. We have already covered the first part of this chapter where we have discussed about the physical weathering, and in this part we will cover the remaining portion of this chapter like the chemical weathering, biological weathering. Okay, let's start this chapter with the chemical weathering. What does it mean? I have already said disintegration. In disintegration, there is no change in the chemical properties or the chemical composition of the rocks. But in chemical weathering, there must have some chemical compositional change. That means they are just transformed or they are just altered into a new one, or the new minerals are formed. So what does decomposition means? It refers to chemical weathering and creates some changes in rock substances. Some example is there, like granite decompose into clay. So previously there was some granite and ultimately they are just transformed into some clay. The main agents of this kind of weathering are water, like running water. It can be running water or it can be precipitation like the rainfall, and the carbon dioxide of the air. So when carbon dioxide or the CO2 is just mixed with the water, like you have water H2O and you have carbon dioxide like CO2. So these two formed carbonic acid H2CO3. So H2 plus CO2, that makes carbonic acid, which is H2CO3. And finally these kind of carbonic acid makes various alteration or chemical changes in the minerals that are found in the rocks. Chemical weathering are just done in this way. Water can change feldspar to clay, sand, carbonates, etc. Some examples are oxygen easily reacts with iron to form a flaky brown oxide. Like if you have some hematite previously, after chemical weathering it will get a limonite, which is of very low quality. Okay. So some alteration is there, and the rainwater reacts with the rocks that contain some iron compounds. That is why from hematite limonite is formed. Now what are the types of chemical weathering? What are the different types of it? They are mainly four types: the carbonation, oxidation, hydration and solution. So these are some processes in chemical weathering we will discuss. So there are different types of agents of chemical weathering, like the water, oxygen, carbon dioxide, living organisms, acid rain. These are the agents by which the chemical weathering is mainly occurred. So you have already learned about what is chemical weathering. Now these are the agents. At first we have the water. It can weather rocks by dissolving them. So the rocks, or you can say the minerals present in the rocks, they are mainly dissolved by the water. Next we have the oxygen. It can cause oxidation of certain rocks because it reacts with the metals in the rocks like the iron. So if there is any iron compound present in the rocks, they can cause oxidation of certain rocks. And what will happen? There happen like the rust, or you can say the crumbling of that rocks. We will discuss it, what are the different types, what is oxidation in the latter one. So at first you will just read about what are the different agents of chemical weathering. Next is the carbon dioxide. It mixes with water to form carbonic acid, which dissolves marble and limestone. So if there is the rocks, or you can say the sedimentary rocks like the marble, limestone is there, marble is you can say the metamorphic rock, like from the limestone marble is mainly formed. In the chapter of rocks I have already discussed. So if there is any marble or metamorphic rocks or any kinds of sedimentary rocks like limestone, then they will mix with the water will mix and form the carbonic acid, and they will react with that acid. Okay, and the living organisms like the lichens or the lichens and the tree roots produce weak acids that weather the rocks. Acids like the humic acid mainly secreted from that rocks roots, and they will react and they will act as the biological weathering, whether by acid formation they will act as a chemical weathering and some kinds of mechanical weathering. The tree roots also acts like that. And another agent is the acid rain. The elements like sulfur, which combine with water to make acid rain, causes very rapid weathering. So these are some agents of chemical weathering, and each of these pictures shows how they are formed, and that is why different types of landform mainly occur. Like if you go to the Bora caves in Andhra Pradesh, then you can have some look like the karst, you can say the karst hole or the karst window. Totally the karst landform is there, and they are mainly formed of the limestone. So the main process there is the solution and the carbonation. We will discuss about the different types of chemical weathering processes. So at first, different types of chemical weathering. We have carbonation. Rainwater contains carbon dioxide, which produces carbonic acid. So the rainwater or H2O is there, and with the carbon dioxide that are present in the atmosphere like the CO2, so that CO2 that will react with the H2O and that will makes some H2CO3, or you can say the carbonic acid. Okay, the formation is H2CO3, that is the carbonic acid that dissolves the limestone in solution like the calcium bicarbonate, that is soluble material that is mainly produced. So these H2CO3 or the carbonic acid, at first how they form, like the rainwater they have some H2O, and with the carbon dioxide that are present in the atmosphere they reacts with that and they form the carbonic acid. After that the limestone, or you can say the here some carbonate is there like the CaCO3 or the calcium carbonate is there, and reacting those two will produce calcium bicarbonate, okay, like CaHCO3, and that is a very soluble material, and that is why these kinds of landforms are mainly created by the chemical weathering processes like the carbonation, which you can have some look how they are formed. Like the you can already, I think you are already known about the stalactite and stalagmite. So the these kinds of formation, these are which are just hang from the ceiling is called as the stalactite. Okay, they are called as the stalactite, and the formation which are mainly from the ground are called as the stalagmite. So these kinds of unique formation can be formed due to the chemical weathering process of carbonation. Next we have the oxidation. Number 2. What is oxidation? Iron combines with oxygen in the presence of water in a process is called the oxidation. The product is rust. What does it means? The process is the oxidation. Okay. And after the process of happening the oxidation, what will ultimately form? It will form the rust, or you can say the crumbling of that rocks. Even with that, the color of the rocks will also change, like it will happen like the light yellowish or the freaky yellow color will be there, like from a very good quality of limonite was there in the past, and after oxidation it will form some low grade, or you can say the low quality of limonite. From hematite the limonite is also formed. So how they form? Oxygen reacts with the iron to form the iron oxide. So the iron, where they are found? There are various minerals that are present in the rocks, right? So the minerals present in the rocks, or you can say any kinds of iron compound is there, and they react with the iron to form, they react with the oxygen that are present in the atmosphere. That is why the rust is formed. Rust is easily breakable, and oxidation commonly occurs where in the materials that contain iron bearing minerals, and it causes the red hues in rock, like the freaky yellow or the red color that are produced. So this is the process of some chemical weathering, like the oxidation, a very important process you should have to remember, student. And what is formed ultimately? Ultimately the rust is formed, and the rock will be transformed into a low grade or the low quality, and that is easily breakable, and the red hues is produced. So these are the characteristics of the oxidation. And where they are mainly found, or where they are mainly formed? The rocks which have some minerals, like which have some iron compound is present in the minerals group, then these kinds of chemical weathering is occurred. And where, for one thing you should have to remember, student, for chemical weathering the precipitation, or you can say the rainfall, is very much needed. So until there will not be any kind of rainfall or precipitation, these kinds of weathering will not be possible to happen. So have some look. This is the red hues that are present in the rocks, and they also be breakable after certain days. So these kinds of weathering can create some rust. So this is the oxidation. Next process of chemical weathering is the hydration. Rocks capable of absorbing water. So various rocks like anhydrite, anhydrite is there. Okay, so they will just soluble, and the rocks capable of absorbing the water, they will absorb the water. By that anhydrite finally absorb the water and form the gypsum. Water added to anhydrite gypsum results. Active following periods of wet and dry weather. Like one season is of wet season, or you can say precipitation or rainfall is there. After that alternative dry season. That is why these kinds of chemical weathering is mainly process, like one season of dry and one season of wet weather. They also classed as a physiochemical process, like some physical weathering is also occurred. Even with that some chemical processing or chemical change will also occur. They will swell by taking or by absorbing the water. So this is a physiochemical process. They can also said as a physiochemical process. That is why they swell and exert pressure as well as change chemical structure, because as they will absorb some water, they will also, there is also change of some chemical structure, right? Even with that, if the particles was this much tiny, after the water absorbed, they will just create a large size and they will swell. That is why they also create some pressure in the adjacent rocks wall where they are mainly found. That is why there is some physical change. Even with that, there is some chemical change. That is why hydration is also called the physiochemical process. So these are the chemical weathering processes. We have already covered the physical weathering and the chemical weathering. Now, what are the basic difference between the mechanical or the physical weathering and the chemical weathering? We should have to know. At first, we have the physical weathering or the mechanical weathering. That is the disintegration of rocks that take place without any change in the chemical constituents of the rocks. So there is no change in the chemical composition. Like I have said, only disintegration is occurred, no chemical change. But here in the chemical weathering, some chemical properties or chemical compositional change is there. The main factors of the physical weathering are the climatic agents like the temperature, moisture, frost action, wind. They will cause the physical breakup of the rocks. But here in chemical weathering, the foremost important point is the rainfall. Okay, minerals in rock to either dissolve in water or change their composition. So this is very much needed. So where are the place? What are the climatic zone where these two kinds of weathering are mainly formed. So where the temperature differentiation is the highest or the sharpest, you can say, is the desert climate. There the physical weathering is topmost, and the moist humid climates, there the chemical weathering is in the great extent. Rocks are affected to great depths in physical weathering, and chemical weathering, it mostly takes place near the surface of the earth. Last point is its agents are temperature and moisture, which I have said, and here the chemical weathering agents are water, oxygen, carbon and the various organic acids. What are the organic acids? Like the plant's root, if there is any plant's root, then the humic acid is also there, any kinds of organic acid. Okay, so these are the agents of these two weathering, and this is the basic difference between the physical and the chemical weathering we have covered. Next thing we have the biological weathering we will discuss, and after that another thing we will also discuss what are the different climatic regions and what are the different types of weathering that are mainly found there. So weathering in different climatic regions, like in equatorial climate, humidity and temperature are very much high. So weathering, especially chemical weathering, is more active. Like in equatorial zone you have the chemical weathering because what? Because the rainfall is very high. Even with that, in polar region you can say the polar climate, there the frost action, or you can say the mechanical weathering is very much high. The desert region, the temperature variation where is the sharpest. The mechanical weathering like the block disintegration, the spheroidal weathering, these are the common processes in desert. So the maximum of weathering that can also mainly found where the temperature variation are mainly high, like the contraction and expansion can be happened, alteration of that also can be happened, right? So the dry climates or the desert climates, the weathering types are different. Even with that, the tropical or equatorial climates, the weathering are also different. And polar climate, the frost weathering. So these are the different climatic zone where the different types of weathering are mainly occurred. Like this is the good picture of this. You have some look, students. It will give you better understanding. In this graph, here we will show this is the annual precipitation, or you can say the rainfall, and here is the temperature graph. So these are the portion where the temperature are also very much high, like this much, and the precipitation are also very much good amount. Like here is the precipitation high and the temperature high, that is why strong chemical weathering are there, like in the equatorial region. And here temperature is high but the rainfall is less. In the same way, here the temperature is very low, even the rainfall is very low, that is why this place creates some strong mechanical weathering, and in this portion creates some moderate chemical weathering with the frost action. So just have some look. What are the temperature differentiation, what are the temperature type, what are the mean annual precipitation is there, and with that different types of weathering in different climatic regions all over the world can be found. Next we have the biological weathering. So biological, genuinely it means the main actors or the main factors of these kind of activities are various kinds of plants and animals. Even the anthropological activities are there, like the action of some human being. So the activities of organisms including plants, burrowing animals, burrowing means the animals who lives by digging some small or the tiny holes in the soil. Okay, they are called as the burrowing animals, like you can say rabbit, small mouse or ants. Okay, these are the burrowing animals. And humans also are there, can cause mechanical weathering. Plant roots can grow into cracks in rocks and apply pressure over time. splitting rocks apart, like the small surface gets apart and broken into some small pieces. Burrowing animals can move rocks to the surface where weathering occurs more rapidly. So it is the integrator, like the burrowing animals are there, they are just moves the rocks from the surface, that is why they are just exposed to further weathering. Okay, they helps in further weathering. The decaying organisms can produce compounds called acids that cause chemical weathering. So the biological weathering, you can say this is the mixture of both these two kind, like the physical or the mechanical weathering and the chemical weathering. In biological weathering, you have both of these two types, whether there are some decomposition or there are some disintegration, both of them are in the biological weathering. Okay, and decaying organisms, so they just there are some acids are there like humic acid or acetic acid or humic acid, they are just acts as the primary instigator for further weathering action. Have some look. There are different types of biological weathering that are occurred by various agents. In this picture, you can see there are some large trees, roots are there. The mechanical weathering is there. The rocks are just gets exposed, and some rounded shape weathering or some mechanical weathering is there. Next we have some biological weathering by some small creature like an owl. Next we have same kind of feature, and lastly we have earthworms. So these kinds of biological weathering are there. Even the anthropological activities or the human actions are also there, like some activities like mining, quarrying, or you can say in agriculture plowing is there. So all these kinds of things just alter the characteristics and generate some biological weathering. So we have covered mechanical, chemical and biological weathering. We have reached in the last part where we have to know about the significance of weathering, as how weathering helps. At first, this is the key factor of soil formation. Weathering generate regolith, which is the primary stage in soil formation. The weathered materials that are further transported by various erosional agents like rivers, glaciers, etc. Various landforms are created by the weathering action like Inselberg, Tors and many other landforms. So at first weathering is done, after that rivers, glaciers just transports the weathered material into another place, and in the weathered place we can have some very good landforms like Inselberg, Tors and so on. Lastly, the minerals that present in the rock are altered and new minerals are formed. So these are some significance of weathering we have covered. Hope you have learnt a lot from this session. Thank you.